Hello everyone, my name is Jeanne, I hope you're well, and this is my June reading wrap-up. I have had a really good reading month in June. It was Whateverthon, and I have read a lot of books and almost all the books on my Whateverthon TBR, so I am really satisfied about that. I want to talk to you about all of them. I'm gonna try and be quick because I have 10 books on here. I don't usually read that many books in one month. I usually read between 4 and 5 books every month, so this is crazy. And now because of it I am feeling the reading slump in July. My reading month so far is not going so well. Anyway, I am going to show you some stats because I like to show some stats for my reading wrap-ups. I am using the Storygraph stats. If you don't know, it's like a Goodreads alternative that is not Amazon, and it's actually really good. I really like this. I use it more than Goodreads these days. Anyways, so I read 10 books. I have read 2,762 pages. Can you still see me? Yes. Here are my moods for the month. The main moods have been adventurous, reflective, mysterious and dark, and emotional. I think there are big chunks on this chart. 60% of these books have been between 300 and 500 pages, which is crazy to me. I feel like I usually read a lot of really short books, but like 40% are under 300 pages, which is more normal to me. I've read 20% of non-fiction books, and finally the main genres of this month have been fantasy, LGBTQIA+, middle grades. I've read some things about arts. I had some classics, some young adults, some romance, mystery, even a memoir, essay collection. I mean, it was quite diverse this month. I'm quite happy about it. And 80% were print format and 20% were in audio books. So I'm going to talk about all of them. I had some really good ratings this month. For each book I'm going to put the rating, so let's get into it. The first book, Silver in the Woods by Emily Tesh. I love that book so much. This is everything I love in short stories especially, and I wish it was longer. So this is about basically this wild man living in the forest. He's linked to this forest in a very specific way. He's like the guardian of the forest. So he's a little bit mystical, and this man that lives in the town next to it comes and visits, and he's very passionate and very interested about the history of this forest and the link between this wild man and the rest of it. And there's like legends, there's like dryads, there's this element of like mystical forest creatures. It's a very elemental magic, and this is very rooted in this forest, and I love the forest. And this was everything I hoped for. I gave it 5 stars, and I would recommend it to anyone who loves elemental magic. It's also very lovely. It's kind of a love story. If you like legends, I think you would really like this book. Quite short. There's nothing that should stop you here. I also read The Empress of Salt and Fortune by nighttsby. I was very confused about this book, and I mean the main characters are confused. It's Chinese mythology inspired, and maybe I'm lacking some of the culture to understand everything. Even though I appreciated it, I think it would have been better if I already knew some of the iconography, the canons, the tropes and characters that we see often probably in mythology in China. So I missed a little bit of that, but it was quite slow paced for such a short book. It is basically the story of these 2 travelers, one of them being this bird, and they go into this retreat place where women from the capital were retreated when they were not needed anymore as wives. They were basically put into this place in the forest together, and one of them being the empress, the empress that was staying there because she was not needed as a wife at the capital. And this is a story of this woman, kind of magical mythology, a lot of symbolism in this. It was quite deep, and the writing style was quite hard at first for me. I think it's because I'm not an English speaker. It was hard for me to get into it at first. There was like a lot of words I had never heard before. Next, I read the 3rd volume in the Wayward Children series by Sean McGuire. This was Beneath the Sugar and Sky. Gave it 4.5. I really enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it, because we follow this trilogy. I don't want to talk about it too much because this is like a sequel, so I don't want to spoil anything. But this is taking place in the world of one of the first characters that we met in the 1st volume, which is basically Candyland world. So this is very entertaining. I didn't give it 5 stars because I did not enjoy it as much as the 2nd story. Maybe I'm not a nonsense world girl. This Candyland is a bit of a nonsense. Next, I've read... What did I read again? I've read the 2nd volume of the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I did not enjoy the 1st volume as much, but this one has had all the tropes I wanted. It's amazing. Diamonds being stolen, trying to find the diamond. You know when someone dies and then they leave clues behind them, speculating their death maybe, and then giving clues to where he's been hiding these diamonds. And this just was great fun, and I really like these murder club people because they're like 80-year-olds basically going on an adventure, and some of these characters are very interesting. Joyce is my favorite character. She's so witty, so funny, so pure. I love her, she's so funny. And Elizabeth is a ex-MIT or super agent when she was younger, so she knows a lot of stuff and it makes it quite nice and action. You know, there's quite a few deaths in there, and I really like that one. Very enjoyable. The chapters are so short that you read that book quite quickly, surprisingly. It's like over 400 pages. I also had the audiobook, which was really nice. I can't wait to get the third volume coming up. I gave it 4 stars. It was not a 5 stars because at some point I was a bit bored. Not bored, but there's some characters that I don't necessarily care about. The 1st volume I gave it 3 stars. This is a 4 stars. I'm hoping the 3rd volume is going to be a 5 star. I love it. It's very entertaining. If you like murder mysteries, kind of classical tropes, this is the only contemporary mystery that I really enjoy. Usually I like an historical murder mystery, but this one is really good. Next, I already talked about it in a previous video. It's The Lost Well, 5 stars, by Hannah Gold. It's a middle grade about whales, about the importance of saving the ocean, mental health. It just made me cry my ass out. I just love whales so much. I'm not gonna cry, okay? I'm not gonna cry right now, but I could cry. This is amazing. I really loved it, and there's like illustrations everywhere. It's a very beautiful book. I got it signed, which I'm really happy about because I love this. Yeah, 5 stars. Oh, yes. I read my first Shakespeare, Macbeth. I made another vlog about going to Shakespeare's birthplace here in England. I'll talk more about this during that video, but let's say I was not expecting this because it was my first Shakespeare, because I'm a French person. We don't really study Shakespeare. This was really good. I chose Macbeth because I'm moving to Scotland soon. It was also quite short, and listened to the audiobook at the same time. It was really quick to get through, and I enjoyed it. I feel like I don't have the reading keys, the reading tools for appreciating Shakespeare as much as I could. So far, I like it. It's fine, you know, it's fine. It's not incredible because maybe I haven't studied in class where, you know, look through all the like details and meanings, interpretations. I didn't do that, so I don't have that level of understanding. So for me, that was just fine. Let me know if maybe that was not the best one. Let me know which of Shakespeare's writing is your favorite. Which one do you think I should read next? Oh yeah, I read Gallant IV Schwab. Quite short, it was quite fast-paced, I feel, and a lot of it is like these journal entries, so where there's not much on it, so it's actually a really short book. This was YA, it feels YA, and I gave it 4 stars, which is really good. I feel like I would maybe now think about it, put it at 3.5 stars. So this is a portal fantasy type of book. There's like this haunted manor basically, and now that I have watched Stranger Things, you know that in season 4, spoiler, there's this manor, and this is like the Upside Down. It feels a bit like the Upside Down. When on the Upside Down it's very dark, there's like one special month, there's like Vecna type of book. There's Vecna living in this and she's a non-verbal person, she cannot speak, and she goes to this place. Yeah, she can travel to the Upside Down basically. It was good, it was just fine. I was not blown away by it, but if you like the Upside Down, you might want to check it out. I read Just Kids by my queen, Patti Smith. Again, I've talked about it in my media freakout video in more details. It's a 5 stars. It's a memoir written by Patti Smith, talking about mostly her young 20s life, I feel, but a little bit later as well, but mostly about her debut in life and how difficult it was, but also how passionate she was. Basically, she was surrounded by art every day and she was really driven by it, and love is a big component of this. It's very good. The audiobook is narrated by herself, so it makes it like very special. She's an amazing poet and I love her work, and now that I know more about her life, I love her music even more, so you should definitely try it out. Loved it. I've listened to 2 audiobooks. The first one is When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. Very beautiful cover. This is basically the story of these women that spontaneously change into dragons because they've had enough. It's set in America in the 50s. It feels that it's mainly focused on housewives. They've had enough. They turn into dragons, they eat their husband, and they go away. And this is kind of the story of who is left behind, these women that didn't change into dragons. We're following a specific character that is left behind, and she has to take care of her sister. I did not really enjoy it, I have to say. I'm sorry. I feel like everyone loves it. I did not. I gave it 2 stars. Maybe I would give it 2.5 or 3 stars, be generous. The main character was very annoying, and even though there are mentions of trans people or children and post-menopause women turning into dragons, it was really focused on middle-class white women, and it was not really what I was looking for. I know it's set in the 50s, but I wish we could have seen more of the dragons. We didn't see the dragons. The only enjoyable part was at the end. I don't want to talk about too much, but I liked the beginning and the end. The middle was so boring. I don't care about this girl's life. Little white girl trying to take care of her sister. Like, I'm sorry, that was not what I was hoping for. The title is like When Women Were Dragons. Let me see the dragons. It was okay. It was supposed to be a very feminist book. I know it is feminist, but it lacked a bit of more obvious intersectionality. It didn't feel as intersectional, even if it was, because there's like mentions, and it felt a bit like this for the main part, and I did not really care for that. So yeah, I wish it would have been better. It's not bad. The last book finally is Essa collection. We can do better than this. 35 voices on the future of LGBTQ plus rights. It was good. It was really good. It was interesting to hear different voices. I like how we had stories of multiple different trans people as well. It was quite varied. A lot of these essays were not really essays, it was more about telling the life experience that they have and what they are hoping for the community, for the future. 4 stars? No, I give it 4 stars, I think. I also listened to the audiobook, which is good because it was narrated by the actual writers. It was a very diverse podcast. But yeah, it was a lot of these were not really new to me. If you want to hear more of like a diverse voices on LGBTQ today, it would be a good one to check out because it touches on lesbian, trans, it touches on people coming from not only the US or the UK or any of that. It's the very people from, I think, India. There's like also some Asian representation. It's very diverse, so this is really good. You should check it out. And a lot of these people are also quite famous, I think, like famous trans people, famous people in the community for carrying out the voices of the community. This is really good. I really liked it. I just didn't learn much from it, but I did enjoy learning about these individuals, particularly hearing their stories. It's really good. So this is the wrap up. 10 books is a lot. I hope the video is not too long. But sorry, I tried to be quick. Next month's probably going to be shorter because I haven't read any books so far. And we are the 9th of July, okay? I need to read. I will see you soon. Subscribe and like the video if you'd like to see more of what I read. It's my first wrap-up video, so I still need to get into how to talk about books that I've read in a month. Because a lot of times I just forget what books are about. It's hard to talk about the books you've read. You can hear this? This is the UK for you.